Halloween drop. What are you gonna do? Think of something. Be different. Hurry up. Hurry up. Time is running out. Time is running out.
What's up guys, this is my junji to embroidery process I made a couple weeks back. I actually came up with this idea spontaneously. I wanted to do something different that hasn't been done before and thought a junji to embroidery design would be pretty cool. Specifically that one scene from the Hanging Balloons mango? I don't know, I'm just a huge fan of horror and I've never seen anything quite like Junji Ito's design. Shit goes pretty hard, man. Anyways, let's start from the beginning. I dragged the image into Procreate and started applying the design. I had to add the ear in from scratch because in the manga, there was a tree blocking it. Right after I finished drawing the ear, I realized I had one huge problem. The size. So for those who don't know, each embroidery machine has a size limit, so for my machine it can only embroider 7 inches in height. So that's when I had the genius idea to split the design in half and embroider it separately. I've never actually done this before, so I was like, oh shit, what if I mess up?
But there's no backing out now after I spent like 2 hours drawing the ear from scratch.
So I imported the image into my digitizing software and started digitizing the first half, which was the balloon head and half of the rope. I first started off with the neck and rope and then moved up to the face and then the hair. This is called proper sequencing and is one of the most important factors when it comes to digitizing quality design. Boring! Alright, I just got the hardest part done and now it's time to digitize the second half. Now for the second half, I needed to make sure that the rope will align perfectly, so I dragged the top rope from the head and added it into the new file.
I did this to get the most accurate sizing possible for the satin stitch. After digitizing the rope, I started digitizing the hanging body by using the
Boring! Now it's time to embroider. Oh my god. Now it's time to embroider the design. I always like to trace the design onto a piece of paper so I can get the most accurate visual on the sizing. From there, I would use tailor's chalk to mark the middle part of the design, and then I would center the hoop as best I can and hoop the fabric. There wasn't much I needed to do for the first hoop besides aligning it as horizontally as I could. Yo, you know what time it is? I think it... Alright, now comes the tricky part. Forgot to do this earlier, but let's do it right now. I'm gonna use the tailor's chalk to just mark, and you should be able to see. Now what I'm gonna do is cut the stabilizer so that I can prepare for the second half of the design. Okay, now comes the hardest part, is actually hooping the second half of the design perfectly. I have to somehow manage aligning this as accurately as I can, so I made sure to get part of the rope from the first design into the hoop so my machine can embroider right underneath it. After a little bit of trial and error, I finally managed to get the hoop just right. I just have to align it, and how I'm going to do that is by using the camera that's built into this embroidery machine. Visual by using my flashlight. Alright, so I have to find the middle, which is that one right there. Okay, let's do it. Alright, so I know it looks a little bit imperfect, but that's just because I had to actually shrink down the size, and the noose actually gets a bit thinner as it goes down. I forgot to widen it a little bit more. From a distance though, you could hardly tell, which is pretty good. So yeah. And there you have it. This is the process I go through for each of my designs. Let me know what you guys want to see and I'll consider making a video on it, I guess. I realize I can't keep doing everything at once or else I just burn out, so instead I'll be focusing more on creating YouTube videos, tutorials, and just digitizing in general. I'm planning to transition my brand from a clothing brand to a digitizing brand, so be sure to stay tuned for more really cool dope, spectacular videos on embroidery and digitizing. Thanks, guys.